I don't think that
Whoa.
you're quite getting it though. It's not uh I mean, if you
Whoa.
change one little thing, I'm gone. It's not that. It is you all do everything to get a woman. And then once you got him, put her up on the wall, hang her there, and leave her. And you don't pay her
Can you
any
give me an
attention. You
example of
don't do
what
the
that
things
is?
that you did to get her. It's
I can give an
it's
Can you
it's
give me an
so many
example of
things.
hanging her up on the wall and leave her? Because that's a
I think
metaphor that I can't really connect
Um,
to an
flowers,
actual real scenario.
You
flowers,
can't.
flowers.
I can't.
I
I
I
listen.
know
I
of a
can
lot of
connect the
women that
part where
say they
I can.
get flowers, and then once they're in a committed relationship or
She
a
don't get no
marriage,
flowers.
they never get flowers. And a woman will start to feel like, oh wow, is he not paying attention anymore, or does he not care? And I'm not saying it's like a huge deal. All I'm just saying is that it's the first thing
If
that
you
I
brought
a
flowers up, then it
scenario
had
I
to be
thought
a
of.
huge deal. Think about it. Y'all are saying he gave me flowers when he
Mhm.
first met me, but once we got in a relationship, he stopped giving me flowers. Divorce.
So what I'm saying is that if women have made most of the changes today, men still are relatively simple. Again, we do have some bad actors, which many women try to date because they check those boxes that are attractive, and we get it. But women didn't feel like they had to date that guy every time. I think that's where most of our issues are starting from. Women have unrealistic expectations as to what a man is supposed to be. They're talking about weird things like I understand there is such a thing as compatibility, but now that has become like your primary focus, right? We have this perversion of what romantic is supposed to be now. Like it's just weird, and I think that that's where a lot of us really that's what we're not looking at. Everybody wants to be satisfied, but you're not going to find that perfect person. And then you have to understand you as a person. Do you think that that man that you're pursuing or who you're with feels like you're perfect, or do you think that he would probably love to change some things about you as well, and has probably made some concessions by being with you? I don't think that a lot of women consider that.
No,
So I'm not going after perfection at all whatsoever, but there are certain things that we have to align on. I can't be in a relationship with someone that doesn't align with my values. I'm not looking for perfection, and it is okay that I'm not compatible with everyone. If I was compatible with everyone, I'd have a man easy, no problem. I would be married easy. But it's just not that way. Everyone is the wrong one until you find the right one.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
y'all
So,
talking
Well,
about
I don't,
y'all talking about the selection process.
yeah.
I thought we were already in the relationship, and in turn breaking the household up.
I
Y'all talking
mean,
about who's qualified and
But this is part of the, this is
you stated that
part of it.
women, the reason why the houses are broken is because women are increasing number of women are not putting up with men's BS anymore. And per your words is I'm packing it up and I'm out. I'm not dealing with a man's BS. I get it. I get it. They own their best representative. But think about it like this. You say women are simply not putting up with the BS men bring. But the truth is, men have always put up with you, um, your hormonal cycles, inconsistency, your inconsistent decisions in love, and even rebellion against leadership. So, if a man tolerates the biological changes, um, you can't even control. Why can't you tolerate his authority, or why can't you tolerate when he may make a mistake, or he might slip up, or he might change it off of his representative that you claim that he went in? If men left every time a woman flipped emotionally, or she gained weight, or she start nagging or combating or any of those things, most of these homes would never existed.
I don't think that
Whoa.
you're quite getting it though. It's not I mean, if you change
Whoa.
one little thing, I'm gone. It's not that. It is you all do everything to get a woman. And then once you got him, put her up on the wall, hang her there, and leave her. And you don't pay her
Can you
any
give me an
attention. You
example of
don't do
what
the
that
things
is?
that you did to get her. It's
I can give an
it's
Can you
It's
give me an
so many
example of
things.
hanging her up on the wall and leave her? Because that's a metaphor that I can't really connect to an
Flowers.
actual real scenario.
You
Flowers.
can't.
Flowers.
I can't.
I
Listen.
know
I
of a
can
lot of
connect the
women that
part where
say they
I can.
get flowers, and then once they're in a committed relationship or
She
a
don't get no
marriage,
flowers.
they never get flowers. And a woman will start to feel like, oh wow, is he not paying attention anymore, or does he not care? And I'm not saying it's like a huge deal. All I'm just saying is that it's the first thing
If
that
you
I
brought
a
flowers up, it
scenario I
had to be
thought
a
of.
huge deal. Think about it. Y'all are saying he gave me flowers when he first
Mhm.
met me, but once we got in a relationship, he stopped giving me flowers. Divorce. You see how?
No, it's
I mean,
an
but I can make the
example.
argument that happens on both sides, though. I think a
No,
lot.
it's
I
just
think
the
No,
Thank you.
King.
sentiment
I didn't
behind
even
it.
go there, but she said the flowers. I'm like, what? Are you
No,
serious?
it's just
Because I know some women that express it almost like, oh, that was his thing to, I guess, show me like he thought of me throughout the day or throughout the week. He cared, et cetera, et cetera. And they take it on an emotional level. It's not you literally bringing flowers, it's you bringing home some type of representation of like this
Paid the
emotional
bills.
thought to
Wait,
me.
wait, wait. So there's been studies that what she's talking about is called emotional bids in relationships. It's not necessarily the flower, but it's the fact that I look out the window and I say, "Oh, look at that cow," and then my man goes, "Yeah, that's a pretty big cow." It's the way in which we connect. These are called bids.
But whenever I come home and
And
I don't get a sandwich, I'm not saying I'm leaving you and I'm finding me another woman.
but that's
I don't.
exactly the thing, though.
But some
Men
of them do, and some of
exactly,
them
No,
cheat.
we don't.
exactly.
That's a
No, no,
20.
no, no, no.
That's a
You're not.
20%
You don't,
clip.
Darwin. You don't.
No,
I
you know,
don't
I'm
think
talking.
that
I'm
you're
talking in
getting
general.
I
At
it.
mean,
a
like
twenty
just because
percent
they cheat
clip,
don't mean that they don't love you any less.
men are doing
No,
that.
I don't.
Men
Okay.
I
men
done
are
already told
divorcing.
y'all about that one.
Men are initiating at a 20% clip. But to the scenario or the example you gave, we're not leaving because you switched up your representation.
Yeah,
If
but
you
you
look into the reason why we initiated divorce, it's not because you flipped your representation. I'm
wait. So
saying
you mean
even regardless if you flip your representation, regardless if you experience menopause, regardless if you withhold sex, regardless of all of these physical changes you go through, we still stand strong with you.
Do
do
you
you
want
think
to know
it's still
why
staying
though?
in a
Why?
relationship if you cheat?
Men do that because you're not really paying us much attention anyway.
Oh,
We can flip on you. I'm
Oh
just
shit.
saying,
Okay, I
y'all
got you.
are
Okay.
not
How do we
really
not
paying
notice it?
us much attention in the first place.
How do we not
Yeah,
notice
it's
it
not a
then?
big that there are things that men don't pay attention to that women pay attention to. We would like for you to pay us some attention when we change, but you don't make certain things a big deal. And that's okay for you, but that is not okay for a woman.
You know why
You
we don't
all
make it?
enter the relationship doing one thing, but you do not keep that thing going. Why?
Yeah.
Because that's not you. You all don't show us the real you. We show us the real you every single time because that is how women are
Right.
socialized. We are socialized to be outwardly social, outwardly like our appearances, our emotions, the way we act. We are supposed to show that. That is how we are socialized. I've got plenty of papers and studies on all of this. Men are socialized to be stoic. Y'all are not socialized to pay certain things any attention. So when you're trying to get a woman, you peacock and you do all of these things and you treat us really well and you want to take us places. But as soon as you get us, you stop it. But the same
you
thing
want to know
that you
why?
got us with is the same thing that you have to keep doing. But if that's not the real you, you need to be
Do
truthful
you want to
in the
know why?
first place.
Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why a man peacocks to get you?
Because
Because
you wouldn't.
that's the terms you set for yourself to be won over. If a
Dun dun
man just
dun.
said, "Hey, look, I like you, want to take you on a date to marry you," hold on. You gotta prove to me. You gotta show me this. You gotta do this. You gotta pay a bill. You gotta show. I want to see. I want to be courted. No,
That's
not chicks,
unfortunate for
not
you.
Cheesecake Factory, Roof Chris. All this. What car you drive? What is
You
that a
gotta
real
bring me
nigga?
flowers every
How
day. You
tall are
gotta.
you?
That is unfortunate for
Why is your
you
belt
because
white?
all
Why it
women are
ain't
not
black?
like that. No,
Why
no,
is your
no.
pants
But
too
let's
tight? Like,
clarify. Wouldn't that be your poor choice if you go for the woman with those
no,
standards
don't try
that
to
you
flip
No,
it.
can't
no, wait, wait, wait,
Don't
wait,
try
maintain?
wait,
to
wait.
flip it.
You.
We're
wait.
giving you an understanding on why he peacocks.
But you wouldn't have to peacock if you guys were evenly yoked. If you know that you're not the guy
There's no
that's gonna
such thing
buy
as
the
that.
flowers every week, when
There's
that
no such thing
woman,
as that.
when you go on that first date and that woman says, I like 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you know you're not gonna do 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's when you delete the number and stop calling. You don't change yourself. You don't keep the number, keep calling and try and convince her that she should want something else. You don't try and talk her down and tell her she
You're
should
talking
lower her
about what we should
standards.
do, and I
Glacier,
was just
Glacier, you want to
explaining
know what's
why we
funny?
do the thing that we
Hold
do.
on, bros. Hold on, bros. You want to know what's funny?
What's funny?
That's why the marriage rate is only 30%. It's because the guys that don't have to come to the table peacocking all the damn time and the girl accepts him for who he is, that's only roughly about 30% of the women that are willing to do that.
Ooh.
The other 70% are talking about you got to show me this. Don't come
Well,
at me
call me the
this way.
30%.
Motherfucking checkmate.
Don't do this. I don't want to see that. You better take me out on a date. I want to see flowers. The other 70% of y'all are requiring a bunch of bullshit that don't mean nothing.